What is the stupidest thing that is considered a crime? I remember videos of cops slashing open water bottles meant to be handed out to the BLM protesters in America. Truly piggish behavior. There was a post I saw where a woman and her daughter were letting their elderly neighbor use their hose cause his water had been shut off. But the authorities found out and the mom and daughter were fined like $400 and had to pay or their water would be shut off. So in conclusion, any law that says you can't feed or help people because of some arbitrary or hateful reason. The only time I spent in a jail cell, I was arrested for hitchhiking. It is illegal to have a sleeping donkey in your bathtub after 7 p.m. in Arizona. A lot of municipalities and HOAs prohibit the use of clotheslines. Very few places have right to dry laws that preclude these prohibitions locally. I think bans on clotheslines are stupid. How dare we save energy in the name of making sure our neighborhood doesn't look trashy? And personally, I don't think clotheslines are trashy anyway. A colleague was accused of throwing a cigarette packet from his car and was fined 30 pounds. He argues he hadn't smoked in years and challenged the fine. Fine was upheld. He had samples taken from his car to prove no one had smoked in it and had medical examinations to prove he didn't smoke. Fine was upheld. He sent threatening and abusive emails to council workers about the fine. The police arrested him and took his computer, and that's how they found the CP, over a spurious 30-pound fine. In my home state, in Australia, it is illegal to chop wood that isn't on private property, so you can't chop firewood while camping. However, it's not illegal to collect or take wood that's already been chopped or fallen. So you can watch a dude get fined or arrested for chopping firewood, then you can legally take the firewood he chopped without consequence. A lady in UK has a rare genetic condition she takes medication for. She's on a Facebook page with other sufferers. An American woman has been going almost a year without the same medication, so since she has extra, she decides to mail it to her. The woman was really grateful, except it got intercepted and her husband got in trouble while picking up the package. This lady is going without very important medication, the same medication that was prescribed to her originally. She's now punished for getting it outside a medical professional. I can see how this would be a problem for narcotics, but it wasn't. It was standard run-of-the-mill prescription, same dosage, that she couldn't afford. Putting squirrels down your pants for the purpose of gambling. And don't ask how I know this. In the UK, it's illegal to stick a postage stamp featuring a monarch upside down. There's still people who are going to jail for trespassing and failure to ID. Usually these are homeless people who are just hanging out in front of businesses. It's these basic ones that are just filling up people's jail records that are the worst travesties in my opinion. I was walking to class one day after parking across the street from campus. As I cross the quad, I hear a siren. I don't think anything about it at first, but it starts getting closer, so I turn around. A motorcycle cop is riding across the quad and is coming directly towards me. I stand there dumbfounded as he pulls up next to me and gets off the bike and tells me that he was staking out the corner and had measured the spot where it was legal to cross the street without using the crosswalk, and I was inside of it. Everyone watched as he pulled out his ticket book and wrote me a citation there in the middle of the quad for jaywalking, then rode back across to his hiding spot. That was not the last ridiculous ticket I received while attending school there. May not be a popular opinion, but prostitution. If it's consensual and isn't trafficking, then let people do what they want. I mean, it is literally called the world's oldest profession, and soon it won't even be a profession at this rate. My one and only criminal charge was criminal trespassing. I was fishing at a state park lake. Fish cop couldn't find a charge, so he hit us with that. We walked down a path that was clearly being used and had sticks and ground for poles. Also, open container laws are dumb. I don't drink, but I could care less if someone has a drink in public. In my country, there is a levy on owning solar panels. You have to pay to use the sun. It's a corporation thing that our government is forced into contract with. They're corrupt too. I was not arrested, but my friend said that he bought a used phone in my country and was arrested in France because this phone was stolen. Urinating discreetly in public. I don't mean in the town square, but if a person has to go and there are 0 public facilities, and no private restrooms available. What can a person do? I mean, a person who pees in an alley next to a rubbish bin or just behind a tree line should not be cited, dragged to jail, or worst, become a sex offender, especially when the cop has to examine to see what it is or what happened. I'm not American, but the idea of jaywalking fucking baffles me. We're adults. If you can trust us to operate a vehicle, you can trust us to cross a fucking road. Expired car plate tabs. I understand the concept of letting them know I still own this car, but why do I have to pay for it? This entire year I paid for tabs, but I refuse to put the sticker on. I've only been stopped once. In Oklahoma, it is still illegal to go whaling. There's a lot of really old laws that never get enforced, but that one is my favorite. Speeding. I think in some cases there is such thing as going too fast, such as when a sharp turn is coming up and you don't have enough time to slow down without skidding at your current speed. But I think that speed limits should be much higher in most cases. Doing drugs. It's your own friggin' body. Now, driving while high, dealing to minors, sure, arrest away. Honestly, for me, stealing. Not like on some robbing shit or from other people. Just shoplifting if you know what I mean. Like, dude, some people don't have the money for a job. Some people don't have enough money to even live off of. So why not at least let some people do it without being so goddamn hard on them when they are just doing this for their own good? Do you want them to die out on the streets with leftover gross scraps someone has chewed on that can't even fill up a stomach? And pennies. Rarely even real money they get by each painful day of their life. I'd feel fucking horrible if I had to arrest someone for that. It's illegal to buy a house with cash. All transactions need to be done through a bank. This is because our initial inflation of real estate started because of money laundering. I understand the logic behind it and the poaching aspect, but at least in California, it is unlawful to possess the feather of any native bird. You see a nice feather on the ground and want to pick it up, sorry, that's against the law. Honestly, things that only hurt the user. Doesn't make sense to me that it's illegal to ride a bike without a helmet that hurts only you, but smoking in public isn't, which hurts you and those around you. Finding lost items out there and not returning them to their owners. Like there's no telling how long it's been out of their possession for.